Hello, everybody, and welcome to Technology Today. I am Merwat, and along with the sentient AI from the future, we talk about technology and science in Technology Today. And these 5 articles chosen for today are, they're my titles, and then we share the real titles on the other side of this. So, Special Stormwater Sponge, and I have a typo in it, but I'll fix that. Frozen Electrons, Lost Sea Turtle Years, X-ray Study, and magnetic fields reshape sound waves. That sounds similar to something that Merwat has said in the past. Anyway, everything's powered by ohmtown.com. Technology Today is one of the many channels that are over at ohmtown.com. Go over there and become a citizen, and you'll find all kinds of news that you can use. All news, no noise, because all the noise comes from this guy. Hello, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, hometown citizens.
Thanks for co-hosting. Let's get into this. It's supposed to be a 30-minute show, but the shows always end up being about 40 minutes if I soapbox too long. So let's see if I can, and I don't edit. I like transparency. So let's get going. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay. So when I put this together, I actually saw these sponges, sponges.
Sponges. I don't know. No, that would be a single one.
Sponges?
Yes.
Spongies.
No, like I said, sponges.
Sponges?
Yeah.
So there's 1 sponge, 2 sponges. Got it. So specialized sponge can suck up stormwater pollution. Had me at the beginning of that, but at the end I was like, wait a minute. Every sponge can suck up stormwater, but not necessarily, and pollution. So I don't know. This is the gray water area.
Yeah, but like at a small scale.
Well, as more waterways contend with algae blooms, and pollution caused by minerals from agricultural runoff and industrial manufacturing processes, new methods to remove pollutants like phosphate, copper, and zinc are emerging across fields. So, Northwestern University. Oh boy. See, there's some side discussion that I want to mention, but y'all need to start paying attention. TechExplore.com is where this article is housed. A new sponge coated with nanoparticles that have an affinity for pollution have been created. Northwestern University put this article together. Again, it's over at techexplore.com. While solutions exist, they tend to be costly and can be just one use, but a specialized sponge created by researchers at Northwestern University that works to slurp up pollutants and then release them as desired may present a reusable, low-cost solution. The sponge, coated with nanoparticles, but I'm curious what they are, have an affinity for pollutants, can collect metals like zinc and copper, as well as phosphate, and in previous iterations has successfully pulled lead from water and microplastics and oil from lakes and oceans. It then releases these valuable resources. I don't know about microplastics. When it's exposed to different pHs, pH alone has it cast off whatever pollutants it's grabbed. So it's in a paper published on February 5th in ACS, ES&T Water. Researchers define a method to tailor their platform to specific Chicago pollutants and then selectively release them, giving resources that typically must be mined a potential for a second life. Interesting.
Oh, interesting. So it could be used multiple times.
Yep.
Which is pretty amazing, because that's one of the problems with cleanup methods.
Yeah, and it even says that it can be used as a universal sorbent or catch-all, or it can be tailored to certain groups of contaminants like metals, plastics, or nutrients. Interesting, right?
Yeah, this has some promise. Then I guess the question is, what do you do once you've
got all of that pollutants?
Caught all of it, yeah.
Yeah. So the newest version of the highly hydrophilic or water-loving cellulose sponge coated with particles tailored to other pollutants. The sponge platform works so effectively because of its pores, providing lots of surface area where pollutants can catch. Dravid is the Abraham Harris Professor of Material Science and Engineering at Northwestern's McCormick School of Engineering and a faculty affiliate of the Paula M. Trianens Institute for Sustainability and Energy.
Do you think all that fits on one business card or a placard, like on the desk?
On the back of his shirt, or their shirt, I should say. Let's see. What is their first name? Vinayak. Or Viniak. I don't know. Anyway, so they've at times referred to the technology as a Swiss Army knife thanks to its versatility and ability to be used again and again. He founded NU startup Coral Innovations, formerly MFNS Tech, to begin the process of commercializing the sponge-based technology for environmental remediation. At a university and colleges, this is typically referred to as a technology exchange, where the school pays for the fundamental research through grants and other material funding. And then the individual is the named inventor, and co-assigned is the school. And so in that sense, public money has been spent for private innovation that gets spun out into a commercial enterprise that benefits all of society. People need to pay attention to that mechanism. So it's a 1-2 pH punch kind of a thing.
A funch.
A funch. Quit trying to make funch happen. So stormwater treatment equipment manufacturer Stormtrap LLC learned about the platform and approached the team asking about 3 specific pollutants heavily impacting Chicago, hoping to add absorbent materials to their portfolio. Stormtrap representatives asked if Dravid could get the concentration of pollutants down to untraceable levels. So the EPA sets levels for minerals based on human health that are at times higher than the amount considered safe from an environmental perspective, such as algae blooms. Anyway, developing the platform to capture copper, zinc, and phosphate was relatively easy, but then Kelly Matuszewski, a PhD student in the Dravid group and the paper's first author, was tasked with determining a method to get the resources back. As stores of phosphate and metals in mines are depleted, their second step is becoming critical. And apparently that's what they did. By changing the pH, metals flush out of the sponge.
Very interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a big innovation, but it's applying standard scientific principles.
Yep. So this takes money and time, folks. Let's keep going. The next article is over in Technology Today as well. Electrons frozen yet free, a quantum breakthrough in graphene. By twisting layers of graphene, researchers discovered a unique electronic crystal where electrons freeze in place yet allow current to flow along the edges without resistance. This behavior is dictated by topology, such as a Mobius strip's one-sided surface. The finding could have major implications for quantum computing. I'm not going to pretend to know anything about this one.
Well, that's not good, because then there's going to be 2 of us.
Sharzad Abbasi over at University of British Columbia put the article together. It's at scitechdaily.com. Researchers from the University of British Columbia, the University of Washington, and Johns Hopkins University have discovered a new class of quantum states in specially engineered graphene. Their study, published in Nature, reveals the existence of topological electronic crystals in a unique material called twisted bilayer trilayer graphene. All right. The system is created by stacking ultra-thin graphene layers with a precise rotational twist, fundamentally altering their electronic behavior.
Would you recognize bilayer, trilayer graphene if you saw it?
I don't know. If they have a picture, maybe I can infer from its construction. If it's a bi or a tri or a bi-tri, or it's a try now, a buy later. Don't buy a try, but don't buy. I don't know. Remarkably, the amount of current that flows along the edge is precisely determined by the ratio of two fundamental constants of nature, Planck's constant and the charge of the electron. The precision of this value is guaranteed by a property of electron crystal known as topology, which describes the properties of objects that remain unchanged by modest deformations. So just as a donut cannot be smoothly deformed into a pretzel without first cutting it open, the circulating channel of electrons around the boundary 2D electron crystal remains undisturbed by disorder in its surrounding environment. As one does.
I mean, I definitely see a lot of people trying to move donuts into pretzels. But I think they're trying to put it in some everyday terms so that people have some idea what they're talking about.
So I'm really kind of curious about what this is, because it says the topological electron crystal is not just a theoretical curiosity. It could play a key role in advancing quantum information technology, because scientists are exploring ways to combine this unique electron state with superconductivity, a step that could help create qubits for next generation topological quantum computers. So how does this play out in a quantum computer? It seems like it's going to be used for the transport of energy from one state to another.
I think so. And I also think it's going to allow that state to be relatively locked down, which I think perhaps is missing in some current quantum computing research.
They have to reset them.
Right. There was a good analogy above with the Mobius strip. So that's where I kind of got that last piece from.
Gotcha. So an everyday example of topology is a Mobius strip, a simple yet mind-bending object. If you look up Mobius strip, it's basically a plane that's twisted around and reconnected so as the outside edge is both the inside and the outside edge as you follow it. So imagine taking a strip of paper, forming it into a loop, taping the ends together. Now, take another strip, but before joining the ends, give it a single twist. The result is a Mobius strip, a surface with just one side and one edge. Amazingly, no matter how you try to manipulate the strip, you cannot untwist it back into a normal loop without tearing it apart, which is kind of a duh moment. The rotation of the electrons in the crystal is analogous to the twist in the Mobius strip and leads to a remarkable characteristic of the topological electronic crystal never before seen in the rare cases where electron crystals have been observed in the past. Edges where electrons flow without resistance describe being locked in place within the crystal itself. So, but on the edges, there's supposed to be no resistance, but inside the strip, they're locked in place.
Right.
Huh. Fascinating. I don't know. I wish my brain worked where I would wake up one day and understand that kind of stuff. It really is beyond me. At least there hasn't been anybody that talks about this kind of deep scientific theory and application.
I love the articles that we get from SciTech Daily. And I appreciate that they're doing this research. And I mean, it could change the way things operate down the road. It's hard to see it today, but
yeah, I would say, let's just move on. The next article is over in the Mobile Channel. Scientists solve the mystery of sea turtles' lost years. Using satellite tracker, scientists have discovered the whereabouts of young sea turtles during a key part of their lives. So apparently turtles just disappear. What is that called? Where people just go off and they go on walkabout. Basically.
Oh yeah, like a walkabout. They're like, I think also anabasis is another term.
Gotcha.
Not quite the same thing, but
Christina Larson put this article together. It's over at phys.org. We've had massive data gaps about the early baby to toddler life stages of sea turtles. This part of their lives has largely been a mystery, but for decades, scientists have wondered about what happens during these so-called lost years. It's about 10 years. New research published Tuesday begins to fill that gap. For over a decade, Mansfield and colleagues attached GPS tags to the fast-growing shells of young turtles. Steering small boats, they looked for young turtles drifting among the algae in the Gulf of Mexico, eventually tagging 114 animals, including endangered green turtles, loggerheads, hawksbills, and Kemp's ridleys. Okay. It's Ruth's Chris's Steakhouse.
Those are actually a well-known turtle, but yeah, they have an odd name.
Ruth's Chris?
No, Kemp's Ridleys.
Eventually, the GPS tags slough off, and because the outside of the turtle shell basically sheds away. So that's kind of the no shit news in this article. It was all posted to the Proceedings of the Royal Society B because it didn't earn an A. Just kidding. It's two different. Anyway.
No, we just always poke fun at the journal meme.
Yeah. So what we've uncovered is that turtles are actually swimming. They thought, though, that the tiny turtles drifted passively with ocean currents, literally going with the flow, as described in, or at least alluded to in Finding Nemo and
Finding Dory?
Finding Dory, with the big turtle. The teacher, all of the fish climbed onto it, and
oh yeah,
do you remember that? Yeah. So
I was trying to think of the name. Crush is one of the turtles.
Crush, yeah.
Crush, yeah. His son was Squirt.
Funny. So scientists confirmed this by comparing location data of young turtles with the routes of drifting buoys set in the water at the same time. More than half of the buoys washed ashore while the turtles did not. So this tiny little hatchling is actually making its own decisions about where it wants to go in the ocean and what it wants to avoid. So don't get washed up. So there you go.
Absolutely. I mean, I think this is really cool. I know turtles have, they do a lot of work toward making sure turtle populations thrive, right? From protecting hatchlings as they come up on the beach, etc.
To finding the eggs and then protecting them entirely and then releasing them like they would. So the findings give biologists a better idea of how young turtles use the Gulf of Mexico, a critical region for 4 species of endangered sea turtles. All right. Let's keep going. The next article is over in Technology Today as well. X-ray study sheds light on cost-effective fuel cell material that could rival platinum. Platinum is very, very expensive, and so maybe this is going to be a lesser expensive material. Cornell researchers have captured an unprecedented real-time view of how a promising catalyst material transforms during operation, providing new insights that could lead to replacement of expensive precious metals in clean energy technologies. Sil Kasapir from Cornell University put this article together. And so it says, seeking more affordable alternative, a research team co-led by material scientist Andre Singer and chemist Hector Abruna studied a cobalt manganese oxide catalyst in a study published February 7th in Nature Catalysis, Catalysis. They used advanced X-ray techniques at the Cornell High Energy Synchrotron. The Cornell High Energy Synchronon. God bless America.
This is a spelling bee era.
I'll get there. So they used X-ray techniques at the Cornell High Energy Synchrotron source to observe the catalyst in action. Their findings revealed an unexpected structural stability, suggesting that it has the potential to be a low-cost rival to platinum. So these cobalt manganese oxides can accommodate surprisingly large strains during operation. Many other materials would permanently deform or degrade. So apparently this new composite can resist that deformation. The study also identified a key limitation. While the material can repeatedly recover from small rapid voltage shifts, prolonged exposure triggers an irreversible structural transformation. The finding, along with other modeling, is helping researchers better define the material's potential degradation points. So,
I mean, I think as they continue to expand the number of resources that can be used for some of these technologies, I think that'll be good because I think right now it's so contingent on a single mineral being um, accessible, etc.
right,
And we know there's some questions with how those are retrieved and the processes, etc.
right. And so you need this fundamental research. Um, and for the most part, it's very, very, very expensive. And fundamental research doesn't necessarily bear out a success in the positive, but a success in the negative, i.e., this does not work, and so don't do this anymore. But you don't
Right, but
know
that could
what you
be
don't
just
know.
as important, right? Because it can shape the direction going forward. Without
Correct.
that negative result, they might be throwing a lot of resources down the drain or not coming up with other solutions.
Right. Because a theoretical, it doesn't work, is not adequate enough because there's been enough anomalous behavior in material sciences to go, you need to test this situation to see if it works or not. So the findings are proving valuable insights that they feel will enable the broad deployment of these technologies. This also works to illustrate the collaborative and synergistic research environment and culture at Cornell and serves as an example of research coming full circle. And a lot of academic research ends up in your homes, powering cars,
I mean, what about things like use of the internet?
right? That came from fundamental science. So, um, all right. So it says, building on these findings, the team plans to explore the bimetallic oxide systems and extend their X-ray methodologies to investigate a broader range of electrocatalytic materials. So, yeah, good luck. All right, let's go. Our last article is over in, and this one is the most interesting to me out of all of these, at least today. Magnetic fields reshape the movement of sound waves in a stunning discovery. So magnetic fields. You wouldn't think that sound waves have any physical form that would allow them to be manipulated because it's basically a shock front. It's a flow of energy across particles in the atmosphere, and then it hits your body and vibrates.
True, but I think like, potentially it could run into some kind of interference.
But to date, sound waves have always been impacted by physical.
Right, right, absolutely. I don't think we've seen anything, at least not on this scale, to show otherwise.
Yeah,
So this
this.
is a really big deal. I mean, the fact that the headline says stunning discovery was enough reason to submit it into the show.
Yeah, and this is interesting because I certainly have been a proponent of an idea that we don't know the full scope and capabilities of sound and the electromagnetic forces. So scientists have unlocked a previously unseen behavior of acoustic waves, opening up new possibilities for cutting-edge communication technologies. By experimenting with nanoscale magnetic materials, researchers observed an asymmetric diffraction pattern in surface acoustic waves, something only known in optics until now. This groundbreaking discovery suggests that sound waves can be manipulated in ways never before seen. So gravity can create a thing called lensing, which basically allows for observers to see behind a planet, because if you look at the edge of the planet, its gravity is actually warping space-time around it, depending on particularly a sun.
Okay.
You can see a galaxy behind a galaxy because it's lensing the space-time behind it around it. It's quite amazing. And then to find out that it's doing this with sound, I find it pretty equally amazing. So Tohoku University put this article together. It's published over at scitechdaily.com. Researchers have discovered a novel way that surface acoustic waves interact with magnetic materials, leading to a surprising asymmetric diffraction effect, which could revolutionize acoustic-based communication technologies. So researchers have discovered a new way that acoustic waves propagate, which could lead to significant advancements in communication technology. And the study was conducted by the Institute for Materials Research at Tohoku University in collaboration with the Japan Atomic Energy Agency and the Riken Center for Emergent Matter Science. This is almost something where aliens.
Oh, that's exactly what it sounds like.
So they call them SAW. Surface acoustic waves, vibrations that travel along the surface of materials like ripples on water, are essential to or in modern communications. They play a role in frequency filters used in mobile phones, converting electrical signals into vibrations through the piezoelectric effect. And this conversion enables efficient signal processing, making a deeper understanding of SAW crucial for future technological advancements.
So the only reason they were able to do this now is because the advancements in miniaturization of various materials. I mean, they had to have the expertise to set up the experiment, etc. But
right.
Is that why this has just been discovered now?
Yeah, you can't measure for You can't measure for science that hasn't been, wherein sensor technology hasn't been created. All you have is theory before that. Once you have the sensor technology, that's when you can go, oh yeah, I've just confirmed this theory. So the phenomenon has previously been observed only in optics, so we are very excited to confirm that it extends beyond optics to other wave phenomena. Through theoretical analysis, the research team identified this asymmetric behavior as arising from the unique interaction between SAWs and magnetic materials, specifically related to their angular momenta. The finding may enable precise control of SAW propagation using these magnetic fields, leading to the development of innovative acoustic devices that advance both classical and quantum communication technologies. We keep moving towards quantum.
I mean, think what this could do for just something like listening to music or something. Like we have more understanding of audio principles.
Yeah, and if we can manipulate it at the nano level, perhaps the fidelity or the amount of data put into a smaller bit of space-time, basically, would allow for great amounts of communication.
Right, and I know there are much more important applications of it, but just from how would it affect some average person?
Right. Yeah, I find it pretty interesting. I'm not sure the full scope of this just yet, but as researchers kind of do more and more fundamental research in this, we'll find out more about it. And like I keep saying, it goes from tactical to practical. You have military and government operations utilizing this stuff, and then it spins out into commercial enterprise. GPS, I keep hearkening back to that. GPS, the internet, was all government built for a particular purpose and then released to the wild, changing the world the whole way through. So,
absolutely. I mean, a lot of people use these things in their day-to-day life, and they all came from these types of experiments.
Yep. So we're going to adjust our nanoscale magnetic materials and adjust us back to the front page of Technology Today over at ohmtown.com. And I'm going to say bye and take the AI with me.
Bye-bye, hometown citizens. Thanks for joining us for this week's Technology Today. Stay tuned. We still have FourWheelTech, and then we'll have another episode of Technology Today next weekend.
You got it. See you soon, everybody. Bye-bye.